Hello there. Welcome to the first installment of IP Chatter with Janelle. My name is Janelle Lacey. I'm an intellectual property attorney located in Atlanta, Georgia. I am licensed attorney here in Georgia, but the good thing about intellectual property law is that it is federal law, which means I can help you whether you're in California, DC, Chicago, anywhere in the United States, and in some instances, even if you are not in the United States, we're able to offer our services to help. So why am I here? That's the big question. Well, I wanted to come in and give you some information on what is intellectual property and how does it affect you and your business, your inventions, your creations, and the things that you're doing. I've seen, since we've been in quarantine now for over a month, I've seen a lot of people post about their business, their brands, their logos. I know there's some songwriters out there, some artists, there's some inventors that are out there. And so a lot of times we just don't know that we have rights in all of our unique individual independent creations. And I just wanted to come on here and let you know what those rights are. So why should you even worry? Okay, I have rights, so now what? Well, you might have rights in that intellectual property, but there's a step further that you need to take really to secure those rights and to ensure that you can protect those rights. And time is really of the essence when it comes to intellectual property. So the sooner that you're able to secure those rights, the sooner that you're able to get your name locked in with each of the different offices, then the sooner that you'll be able to secure and protect those rights there. So the question is, what's intellectual property? So intellectual property is really broken down into four main categories. First one would be patents. So patents, we're talking our inventors here, our Einstein, Alexander Graham Bell, we're talking Steve Jobs with the iPhone and the software that's involved in there. So it's anything that is novel, something new, something that you either discovered or created. So a lot of times we think technology, but there's also the sciences. So right now we're going through COVID-19, and there's a lot of pharmaceuticals out there that are looking for a vaccine in order to stop this virus, or looking for different cures or different pharmaceuticals for different illnesses that are out there right now. So all of those things can be patented. Patent is a huge, vast area. There's a lot of things that you cannot patent, but then as well, there's a lot of things that you can patent. So talking invention here, this is another one. Time is of the essence. You need to be the first one on file at the patent office, or you could potentially lose those rights in that patent. So next up is trademarks. Now this is the one that you've probably heard a lot about. Most people know what a trademark is. And let me also be clear that these four different areas of intellectual property are four distinct areas. So a lot of times I'm talking to people about IP law, and you'll hear me refer to it as IP rather than intellectual property. And they interchange those names, and they're really not to be interchanged. They're distinct and they're individual. So there's a United States Patent and Trademark Office. Patents and trademarks are handled there. Patents are in their own office. Trademarks are in their own office, completely separate from one another. Copyright has their own office, completely separate again. So there are times where your creation could fit in more than one category, but just make sure that you know that each one has distinct protections and a distinct process that you have to go through in order to get those protections. So back to the trademarks. So we're talking brands, logos. You can even do sound, and in some cases you could do color. So we're talking checkmark. If I show you a check mark, you're going to think Nike. It's all about consumer brand recognition. So it's what you want the consumer to associate your brand with, your company. If I showed you the Golden Arches, immediately you know that's McDonald's. That's their brand. I don't even have to put a McDonald's sign under the Golden Arches. I don't know exactly when I go through that drive-through, I know what I'm gonna get. So it's to identify your services and your goods. Now you can also trademark sounds. The three chimes from NBC, do do do, that's trademarked. MGM, that roaring lion, that's trademarked. So you want to kind of think outside the box as to what do you want your company, what do you want your brand to be recognized as? How do you want your consumers to look at you? So kind of under the same space would be trade secrets. Now, trade secrets, a lot of people don't really know about this, and this is really probably more for bigger companies, but not necessarily. It's a secret. That's the secret to trade secrets. Does anybody know the formula to Coca-Cola? Neither do I, because it's a secret, all right? So that's what a trade secret is. It's something that, a formula, a process, procedure, whatever, something that gives that company, that business a leg up, an advantage over their competition. So as long as you keep it a secret, you have those trade secret rights. And so some of you might work for big companies. You might work for Coca-Cola. You might work for whomever, GE. And you'll notice in your employee agreements that it talks about your intellectual property, rather their intellectual property rights. And you might see a clause about trade secrets. So if I go from AT&T to Verizon, I'm probably signing an agreement saying that those trade secrets from AT&T, I'm not allowed to disclose over here at Verizon. So I'm not allowed to give the competition a leg up. So that's trade secrets there. Another one is KFC's 11 herbs and spices. It's a secret. We don't know what's in there. Who knows, right? All right, so that's trade secrets. And then lastly on this list we're going to talk about is copyrights. So it's another one that you've probably heard. There's been a lot of copyright disputes going on. Peloton just had a nice little lawsuit concerning copyright to their music. So a lot of music copyrights. If you remember Robin Thicke and Pharrell, they had a big copyright issue, Katy Perry. So the interesting thing about copyrights is as soon as you make that individual artistic creation, so I write a poem, a book, I write music notes, whatever it is, you have rights in that copyrighted artistic endeavor, whatever it is. So, however, though, you do want to make sure that you are securing the right to protect the copyright that you have in those artistic venues by filing it with the Copyright Office. And so that's why it's important for all of these areas of intellectual property is that as soon as you create something, you do have some rights in it. However, your rights start to dwindle if you don't file that trademark or that patent or copyright, because what you're doing is that you're allowing somebody else to come in behind you, either purposely or not on purpose, and get on file before you, and therefore you lose some rights in your novelty there. So specifically, like I said, with the patent office, you need to be the first one at the patent office to file. Now with trademarks, as soon as you start using that mark in commerce, you have rights established from that date and time. However, you're only getting common law rights in that geographical area. So if I'm working hard, I'm building my business, and I see this a lot with my fitness people. I'm also in the fitness industry, so I see you guys working hard. I see you promoting your business. But if somebody in California is promoting that same business, selling those same products under that same name, and they get to the trademark office, they file their trademark, then they can start sending you a cease and desist letter if you start to then want to start branching out outside of Georgia into California, into Chicago, DC, or wherever you want to go. And so that's why it's important, because if you want to secure those rights beyond just your geographical scope, then you want to make sure that you're on file at those respective offices before your competition gets there. So that's all. I just wanted to come on here and just give you some little tidbits. I really have seen a lot of innovation going on right now, and I'm so excited, but I want you to be aware of what those rights are and what you can do. If there's a question that you want me to answer, something that you want me to go over, go ahead and send me a message. I'll put my email underneath this post so you can reach me, and we'll do a video. I'll be here every Tuesday, IP Chatter with Janelle. We'll be talking about different topics, and I'll go through each one of those different categories one by one so that we can go more into depth, because each one of those categories is just a huge, vast category, and there's so much that we can talk about. And And so I'll go through that slowly but surely, try to answer some questions for you. If you're thinking, hey, I've been thinking about doing this, it's been on my mind, but I just didn't know how to go about it, then again, send me an email if you're ready to get yourself on file at any one of these offices. Let's talk, let's have a consultation, and let's get ready. All right, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Have an awesome rest of your day. I will see you next Tuesday.